This is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? In today's football-related ASMR video, we're going to be looking at a Slavic countries combined football team. As requested by you in this What If series, we've already looked at a combined Britain and Ireland, excluding England, and we've had a look as well at Yugoslavia. So I've decided, on your numerous requests, to take a look at a combined Slavic team. And if you're not sure of the term Slavic, it relates to Russia, Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Croatia, Serbia, Bosnia, Macedonia, Slovenia, Bulgaria, Montenegro, Belarus and Ukraine. So it's nothing to do with any historical country that's existed. It's more to do with a shared culture and sort of original language, which was Old Slavonic, which all of these languages come from nowadays. Okay, should we get started? So I'll do the first 11, I'll do the bench, and then I'll do some honourable mentions for some players that didn't quite make the cut, but I considered them. Oops. So in goals, I've gone with Jan Oblak. I've never really seen him play that much, but Atletico Madrid rarely let in goals, and I mean they're not doing as well this season, but in previous seasons. So that's because of the manager's sort of quite defensive approach, solid in defence, and then try and win. And the goalkeeper has to be part of that. So Jan Oblak gets the nod, and he is from Slovenia. Next up, partially because I was doing this as I was watching the football on Friday night between Arsenal and Man City, and Alexander Zinchenko, he only came on right at the end, but his passion and his authority in the team, and the way in which after the match finished, all of the Man City players went over to speak to him, and it just looks like he's got such a good standing in the dressing room. So he's a born leader, really. Alexander Zinchenko would come in at left back, but do that thing where he probably cuts in and stays in central midfield for parts. A very modern left back. So yeah, Zinchenko is from Ukraine, so Slovenia, Ukraine, and here's our first Russian. I mean, I'm cheating here because I'm a massive Spartak Moscow fan, but Georgi Gigia, I've always wondered, watching him play, how he hasn't been snapped up by a much bigger European powerhouse. I thought he could quite easily play in the Premier League, or maybe in Spain or Italy. But he used to play as a winger when he was sort of starting football, because he's so fast. So you basically can't outrun him. He will chase down wingers and beat them for pace and get in behind and not allow them a one-on-one. He sort of reminds me of Sergio Ramos, in the sense that he very often gets booked and sent off. He's a total warrior, plays on with bandages of blood on his head. He's the captain, he's very old, he's got a lot of authority in the team, and he's well liked and well respected. And yeah, he's in the national team still, even though they're trying out a lot of new players. So for me, Georgi Gigia of Spartak Moscow and Russia gets the first centre back. And the second one, I think, has to go to Milan Skriniar of Slovakia, one of the best central midfielders in Europe right now, and rumoured maybe to be, well, Is he going to Paris Saint-Germain on a free at the end of the season? I think I've heard a rumour. So yeah, Milan Skriniar of Slovakia, excuse me, is an absolute dead cert for this. One of the best defenders around at the moment. I really struggled with right back. You know, there were some like good players, but it wasn't really obvious who like the outstanding player was. And so I started looking at people in more detail, and Vladimir Coufal of the Czech Republic had a really high number of assists in his first season with West Ham, and second to that, he is a very reliable defensive player. So due to the fact I couldn't quite decide who went at right back, that I went for someone from a different country to try and get as many in as possible. So the Czech Republic's first instalment is Vladimir Coufal of West Ham. Very, very solid and reliable right back. I've seen him play. Wales have played Czech Republic quite a few times over the last few years, and he's always played extremely well. Our first Pole in the team has to be Piotr Zielinski. He is having a wonderful season at Napoli. I watched him play last night when Napoli won yet again, this time against Roma, 2-1. What a game. It was absolutely amazing. Commentators said it was the best game they've seen all season in Serie A, and I don't disagree. So, yeah, Piotr was very much a part of that. He plays sort of more attacking midfielder with Zambo Anguissa for that Napoli team. However, he has stated, well, on his Wikipedia page, it says that he actually prefers being the left attacking or left midfield, so I've put him in as a left midfielder. So, yes, from Poland, it's Piotr Zielinski. Okay, next up is our first from Serbia, and if you watch this channel you know I've got a very high opinion of this gentleman, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic of Lazio, and obviously the Serbian national team. He had another blinder for Lazio. I was watching the game against AC Milan, the highlights, over the weekend from, I think it was last weekend, and he had a stormer once again. So yeah, he's having a really good season once more. So Milinkovic-Savic gets into central midfield, and no shocks, similar to the video I did on Yugoslavia. Who could leave him out of a team like this? So our first Croat of the day is Luka Modric of Real Madrid, and I think I changed. Yeah, I did like West Ham, Napoli, Lazio, Croatia, Real Madrid, obviously. So Luka Modric. Thinking of him next to Milinkovic-Savic is just a very exciting thought. The two of them would just be amazing. Although, you know, you might be a little laid bare a little bit for in your defensive aspects, I suppose. I'd probably play them in a midfield 3, actually. Okay, and then right midfield. Our second from Ukraine, it's Mikhailo Mudryk. Oh, sorry, I didn't change this from when I changed. This is a typo. Obviously, he does not play for Nottingham Forest. He plays for Chelsea, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him. But I have watched him all season long in the Champions League, and he is sensational, and he's going to be wonderful in the Premier League. So yeah, he usually plays more to the left, but can play on the right as well. So Mikhailo Mudryk of Chelsea and the Ukraine national team is at right midfield. And then up front, can you guess? Robert Lewandowski. Lewandowski. So he's our second from Poland, and I did this entire thing, and I got to the end, and I'd forgotten about Poland. And then I thought, oh my god, I can't leave Zielinski out, I can't leave Lewandowski out. So they booted some other players completely out of the team because they are both such good players. So yes, Robert Lewandowski, nowadays of Barcelona, previously in this picture of Bayern Munich, and the Poland national team absolutely makes this team without a shadow of a doubt. And then secondly, I haven't seen enough of Vlahovic this season to convince me that he would start, although his potential is magnificent, and I hear that several Premier League clubs, including Man United, are after him. So on current form, Alexander Mitrovic, who is having a sensational season for Fulham, makes my starting lineup, so he's my second Serbian player. Okay, so you possibly disagree with me on quite a few of those, and that's fine. Drop me a comment and let me know. And here's my subs bench. So I've got Dominik Livakovic of Croatia in goal. Also of Croatia, I've got Josep Gvardiol, currently of Leipzig, in central defence. And based on your suggestions, and I've done my homework, the Bosnian Sead Haksabanovic, who plays for Celtic, also makes the bench due to his, due to him being really good. And he's our Bosnian entry. I don't think I put any other Bosnians, unfortunately, but I definitely could / should have. But there we go. Marcelo Brozovic, also of Croatia, is central midfield. I think he's having a bit of a bad season, but I definitely put Tomasz Souček in the mix somewhere, because when he's on form he is sensational. And then, like I said, I dropped Dusan Vlahovic to the bench. And as my second Russian, I've put in Fyodor Chalov of CSKA. I haven't watched much Russian league football this year, but normally I do, and he's always amongst the top goal scorers. He's fast, he's quick, he can score from practically anywhere. I'm really shocked that he hasn't been picked up by another European club. I think he would do quite well in, say, England, Germany, Italy. But yeah, he's a good player. Okay, on to honourable mentions. I feel really, personally, if I were picking the team, I would put Szczesny as my number one goalkeeper. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you completely disagree with me, but yeah, so afterwards, when I realised that I hadn't included any Polish players, I got to this point and I thought, oh god, I actually personally would start with Szczesny of Poland and the Juventus club team. He had a magnificent World Cup, so feel free to tell me I'm an idiot for putting him in the honourable mentions and not in the starting lineup if you want. I also did include Oblak because I wanted to have a Slovenian and not have too many from the same nationality in the starting lineup, in my defence. Stefan Savic of Montenegro makes the bench, of Atletico Madrid, again, very solid defence. One of my Macedonians is going to be Alioski, now of Fenerbahce, but previously played for Leeds, as my wing-back. Another Croat in Mateo Kovacic of Chelsea in central midfield, along with another player who's having a cracking season for Napoli, Elmas of the Macedonian national team. I realised I didn't have any Bulgarians, so I think they're in a transitional period at the moment, but Georgi Milanov, formerly of CSKA Moscow, now of Azafra in the UAE is probably their best player on paper. I really like Filip Kostic of Juventus and the Serbian national team. I wanted to include him. Another player I'm fond of for the Russian national team is Zemlichan Bakayev, currently of Zenit, but he used to play for Spartak Moscow. And he can play both as an attacking midfielder and also play down the wings as well. Very fast, good at dead ball situations. My second Czech player, who was actually in my starting lineup until I remembered that I forgot Poland and put Lewandowski in, Patrik Schick, is a player that I have a lot of respect for. He is in Germany playing for Leverkusen, but like I said, he plays at the national level for the Czech Republic. I think probably I should have included from Napoli Lobotka. He's having an amazing season, so honourable shout out to him from the Slovakia national team. And lastly, to include someone from Belarus, I have a lot of time and respect for Vitali Lizakovic. Currently plays in the second division for Rubin Kazan, but I imagine they'll get promotion again soon. Has played for Lokomotiv Moscow, but I saw him play against Wales for the Belarus national team and he scored. And we couldn't handle him. He is a really tricky, small forward, mostly on the wing but can play up front. He's fast, he's good at penalties and set pieces, so that's my team. Probably should have had a couple more from each nation, and I'm happy for you to tell me I'm a lunatic. Why don't you drop a comment and tell me who you think I should have included or who you would have included. Okay, take it easy, see you soon.